He threw her out pregnant, screamed in front of everyone that the child wasn't his. 5 years later, she came back. Not crying, not begging, wearing power like armor, and beside her, a little girl with his eyes. Now the king of the underworld is on his knees, because he's not facing a war, he's facing the truth. And the truth is 5 years old and calls him Sir instead of Daddy. This is the story of a man who lost everything, before he even knew what he had. The rain fell like judgment over Manhattan. Not gentle, not forgiving. The kind of rain that turned glass towers into mirrors, reflecting crimes that would never see daylight. And at the top of one of those towers, behind bulletproof glass, silk curtains, and armed men who didn't ask questions, sat Damon Cade. 37 years old, crime lord, underground king. The man who owned half the city without ever appearing on a single registry. He didn't move when his phone buzzed, didn't blink when his lawyer cleared his throat for the third time. Damon's world was control, silence, power measured in the weight of a glance, not a word. But then, the door opened, and she walked in. Amara Bennett, 26 when he destroyed her. 31 now, tailored charcoal suit, heels that echoed like war drums on marble. Hair pulled back so tight it looked like armor. She didn't look at him. Not yet. She looked at the room, at the men, at the empire he built on bones and broken promises, and beside her, a little girl, 5 years old, curls like midnight, eyes like whiskey and smoke, the exact shade of Damon's. She wore a yellow dress, held her mother's hand, stared at him with the kind of fearlessness only children possess. Damon's heart stopped. Not metaphorically, not dramatically. It stopped. Because he knew that face. He'd seen it in the mirror every day for 37 years. Mr. Cade, Amara's voice was ice wrapped in silk. Thank you for agreeing to meet with me. He didn't agree to anything. His assistant scheduled it. Didn't even tell him who the client was. Now he knew why. Ms. Bennett. His voice came out rougher than intended. I wasn't aware you'd be bringing my daughter. Amara's tone didn't waver. Zara. Say hello to Mr. Cade, sweetheart. The little girl tilted her head. Studied him the way he'd studied 1,000 men before deciding their fate. Hello, sir, she said softly. Sir, not Daddy. Not Papa, sir. Something fractured in Damon's chest. Something he thought he'd buried 5 years ago in rage and pride and the kind of stupidity only powerful men are capable of. Amara sat down without being invited. Zara climbed into the chair beside her, small legs swinging, unbothered by the tension thick enough to choke on. I'm here on behalf of Bennett and Associates, Amara said, sliding a folder across the table. We represent several business owners in the Bronx who've experienced difficulties with property acquisition in recent months. Damon's jaw tightened. He knew exactly what she was talking about. Buildings bought under shell companies. Families relocated. Businesses shuttered overnight. Legal, technically. But only because he had lawyers who made legality irrelevant. I don't handle acquisitions personally, he said carefully. No. Amara's smile was a blade. You just profit from them. Silence. His men shifted. Hands moved toward weapons they wouldn't draw. Not here. Not with a child present. Damon raised one hand, a subtle gesture. Everyone froze. Ms. Bennett, he said slowly, if you're here to negotiate, I'm not negotiating. She opened the folder. Pages of documents, contracts, testimonies, financial records. I'm informing you that you have 72 hours to reverse the acquisitions, compensate the displaced families, and cease all operations in the affected zones. He almost laughed. Almost. Or, he asked. Amara's eyes met his for the first time, and God, she was still beautiful, still fierce. Still the only woman who ever looked at him like he was human instead of a monster. Still the woman he'd destroyed because he was too proud to believe, too broken to trust, too much of a coward to love. Or I file a class action lawsuit that will expose every shell company, every bribed official, and every illegal transaction you've made in the past decade. The room went cold. You can't prove any of that, Damon said quietly. Can't I? Amara pulled out another document. I have testimonies. I have financial trails. I have recorded conversations. She leaned forward. I have everything, Damon. His name on her lips was a wound. She hadn't said his name in 5 years. Mommy! Zara's small voice cut through the tension. Can I draw? Amara's expression softened instantly. Of course, baby. She pulled out a small notebook and crayons from her bag. Zara started drawing, humming softly, oblivious to the war happening above her head. Damon couldn't stop staring at her. The curve of her nose, the way she bit her lip when she concentrated, the small scar on her chin, exactly where his was. She's mine, he said. Not a question, a fact. Amara's hand tightened on the folder. Legally? No. Biologically? That's irrelevant. Irrelevant. His voice dropped to something dangerous. You screamed that she wasn't yours in front of 20 people, Amara said coldly. You threw me out of your house. You had your men drag me to the street while I begged you to listen. Her composure cracked just for a second. You chose pride over us. So no, Damon. She's not yours. She's mine. Zara looked up. Mommy, are you sad? Amara's face transformed, all softness and light. No, sweetheart, I'm okay. You have your sad voice. I'm just tired, baby. Zara nodded and went back to drawing. Damon felt like he was drowning. I want a paternity test, he said. No. Amara? You don't get to demand anything. She stood. You have 72 hours, Mr. Cade. After that, I go public. And trust me, I will bury you. She took Zara's hand. Come on, sweetheart, we're done here. Zara hopped down, started walking toward the door, then stopped, turned back, looked at Damon with those impossible eyes. You're sad too, she said simply. Damon's breath caught. Zara, Amara's voice was tight. Let's go. But Zara didn't move, just kept staring at him. It's okay to be sad, she said. Mommy says everyone gets sad sometimes. And then she smiled, small, sweet, devastating. Turned and skipped out the door, her yellow dress a flash of sunlight in his monochrome world. The door closed. Damon sat in the silence. His lawyer started talking. Strategy, countermeasures, legal defenses. Damon didn't hear any of it. He was remembering 5 years ago. The night Amara came to him, glowing, terrified, hopeful, told him she was pregnant, and he'd looked at her. This brilliant, beautiful woman who loved him despite everything he was, and said the words that would destroy them both. It's not mine. Because men like him didn't get happy endings, didn't deserve softness, didn't believe in miracles. Because his own father had beaten into him that love was weakness, family was leverage, and trust was a lie. Because he was a coward. And now she was back. Not to beg, not to forgive, to fight. And she'd brought their daughter. His daughter. The child he denied. The family he destroyed. The life he could have had. Damon Cade had faced warlords, feds, rival syndicates. He'd never been afraid. Until now. Because Amara Bennett didn't just come to negotiate. She came to win. And for the first time in his life. Damon wasn't sure he wanted to fight back. Damon didn't sleep that night. He sat in his penthouse, surrounded by bulletproof glass, and a city that never stopped bleeding, and replayed the same 30 seconds over and over. Zara looking at him. Zara smiling. Zara saying, "You're sad too." A 5-year-old saw through him in seconds. What did that say about the man he'd become? His phone buzzed. Marcus, his second in command. Boss, we found her address, her office, her routine. Want us to… No. Silence. Boss? I said no. Damon's voice was steel. No one touches her. No one follows her. No one even looks in her direction. Understood? Understood. He hung up. Poured himself whiskey. Didn't drink it. Just stared at the amber liquid like it held answers. She'd said 72 hours. He had men who could make this disappear. Lawyers who could bury her case in motions for years. Judges who owed him favors. He could win. But winning meant destroying her again. And he'd already done that once. The next morning, Damon did something he hadn't done in a decade. He left the tower without security. Drove himself through Brooklyn. Pulled up outside a small brownstone in Park Slope. Sat there like a stalker. Like a ghost haunting his own unfinished story. At 7:43 a.m., the door opened. Amara stepped out holding Zara's hand. The little girl wore a pink backpack covered in butterflies, skipped down the steps, laughed at something her mother said. Damon's chest ached. They walked to the corner, waited for the school bus. Other parents were there, smiling, chatting, normal people living normal lives. Amara fit right in. No one would guess she spent her days dismantling criminal empires, that she'd walked into his office yesterday like an avenging angel. The bus arrived. Amara kissed Zara's forehead, smoothed her curls, whispered something that made Zara giggle. And then, Zara turned, looked directly at Damon's car. He froze. She waved. A small, innocent wave. Like she'd known he was there the whole time. Amara followed her gaze, saw the car, saw him. Her expression went cold. She said something sharp to Zara, who nodded and climbed onto the bus. Then Amara walked straight toward him. Damon got out of the car. Are you following us? Her voice could cut glass. I needed to see her. You have no rights. I know. Amara's jaw clenched. If you think you can intimidate me, I'm not here to intimidate you. Damon's hands were shaking. He shoved them in his pockets. I needed to see her. See you. See what I… He stopped. I needed to see what I threw away. Something flickered in Amara's eyes. Pain, maybe. Or recognition. You don't get to do this, she said quietly. You don't get to show up now and feel sorry for yourself. I know. You called me a liar, a whore. You said I tried to trap you. I know. You destroyed me, Damon. Her voice broke. Just for a second. Just enough to shatter him completely. I was 26 years old, she continued, tears she refused to let fall shining in her eyes. I was terrified, alone, pregnant, and the man I loved looked at me like I was nothing. Amara. I lost everything. My apartment, my job, my dignity. She stepped closer. I had to rebuild myself from nothing while carrying your child. I worked 3 jobs. Studied for the bar at night. Gave birth alone in a hospital where no one even knew my name. Damon felt like he was being carved open. And you know what the worst part was? Amara's voice dropped to a whisper. I still loved you. Even after everything. Even when I hated you. I still… She stopped. Composed herself. But I don't anymore. I can't afford to. I have a daughter to protect. From me? From everyone. She turned to leave. 72 hours, Damon. Don't make this harder than it needs to be. What if I reverse the acquisitions? He asked suddenly. What if I do everything you're asking? She paused. Will you let me see her? He asked. Just once. Just to… No. The word was a door slamming shut. She deserves to know her father, Damon said desperately. Amara turned back, and her expression was pure ice. You're not her father. You're the man who abandoned us. There's a difference. She walked away. Left him standing on a Brooklyn street corner, surrounded by normalcy he'd never have. 48 hours left. Damon called an emergency meeting. His entire inner circle. Men who'd kill for him. Men who'd die for him. "We're reversing the Bronx acquisitions," he announced. Silence. Then chaos. "Boss, that's millions. We have contracts. This sets a precedent we can't afford. I don't care." Damon's voice cut through it all. "Reverse it. Compensate the families. Make it right." Marcus stared at him. "This is about her, isn't it? The lawyer. It's about doing the right thing." "Since when do we do the right thing?" Damon slammed his hand on the table. "Since now!" Everyone flinched. He'd never lost control, never raised his voice, never showed emotion. "This empire was built on fear," Damon said quietly. "On taking, on breaking. I'm tired of it. We're changing direction." "Boss, are you questioning me?" Silence. "Good. Then make it happen." 72 hours becomes 48. "I want this done by tomorrow night." They left, murmuring, confused, concerned. Marcus stayed behind. "You're going to lose respect," he said carefully. "The other families will see this as weakness. Let them." "Damon, I lost a daughter because of my pride, Marcus." Damon's voice was raw. "I lost the only woman I've ever loved because I was too much of a coward to believe I deserved happiness. I'm not losing anything else." Marcus studied him. "You really think this will make her forgive you?" "No." Damon smiled bitterly. "But maybe it'll help me forgive myself." 24 hours left. Amara received a call from her clients. "The acquisitions have been reversed. Full compensation, more than we asked for." She sat in her office, stunned. He actually did it. Damon Cade, the man who never bent, never apologized, never showed mercy, had just dismantled a multi-million-dollar operation because she asked him to. No, not asked. Threatened. But still, he did it. Her assistant knocked. "Ms. Bennett, there's a delivery for you." A single sunflower, her favorite, with a note in handwriting she'd know anywhere. "I can't undo the past, but I can stop making the same mistakes." Amara stared at it for a long time, then threw it in the trash. But that night, when she got home and Zara was asleep, she pulled it back out, pressed it between the pages of a book, hated herself for it, and cried for the first time in 5 years. 0 hours. The deadline passed. Amara didn't file the lawsuit. She sat in her office at 8:47 p.m., staring at the documents on her computer screen. One click. That's all it would take. She'd promised her clients, promised herself. But he'd reversed everything. Given them more than they asked for. Pulled back his empire like he was dismantling his own armor piece by piece. And that terrified her. Because the Damon she knew 5 years ago would never do this. The Damon she knew chose power over love. Control over vulnerability. Pride over truth. But this Damon sent her sunflowers. This Damon sat outside her house at dawn just to see their daughter smile. This Damon was dangerous in an entirely different way. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. "I know you didn't file." "Thank you." Her hands trembled. "Amara, don't thank me. I'm not doing this for you." "Unknown. I know. You're doing it for them, for the people I hurt. I understand. She should block the number, should shut this down before it became something." "Amara, what do you want, Damon?" The typing indicator appeared, disappeared, appeared again. "Damon, to be her father. Not because I deserve it. Because she deserves to know where she comes from." "Amara, she comes from me. I raised her alone. I sang to her when she was sick. I held her when she had nightmares. I'm the one who's been there." "Damon, and you're an incredible mother. I can see that. But doesn't she deserve the whole truth? Doesn't she deserve the choice?" Amara's vision blurred. "Amara, You'll hurt her, just like you hurt me. Damon, then stop me. Be there. Every second. I won't see her without you. I won't say a word you don't approve. I'll earn this, Amara. Please, let me try. She closed her eyes. This was a mistake. She knew it was a mistake. But then she thought about Zara, about the questions she'd start asking soon. Why don't I have a daddy? Where does my nose come from? Why do I look different from you, Mommy? And she thought about the little girl who looked at a stranger in a suit and said, You're sad too. Maybe Zara already knew, on some level. Maybe children always did. Amara. One meeting. Supervised. If you make her cry, if you confuse her, if you do anything that hurts her, you disappear forever. Understood? Damon. Understood. When? Amara. Saturday, 2 p.m. Prospect Park. Bring nothing. No guards, no weapons. Just you. Damon. Thank you. She didn't respond, just sat there, wondering if she'd just made the biggest mistake of her life. Or the bravest decision. Saturday arrived too fast. Amara dressed Zara in her favorite purple dress, braided her hair, tried to act normal even though her heart was hammering. Where are we going, Mommy? Zara asked in the car. To the park, baby. Are we meeting someone? Amara's hands tightened on the steering wheel. Yes. Who? She'd practiced this, rehearsed it 100 times. Remember the man from Mommy's office, Mr. Cade? Zara nodded. The sad man. Yes, he wants to talk to you. Is that okay? Zara tilted her head, thinking. Why? Because he's... God, how do you explain this? He's someone important. Someone who cares about you. Like Grandma? Amara's mother had passed 2 years ago. Cancer. Another battle Amara fought alone. Something like that, she whispered. Zara seemed satisfied, went back to looking out the window, humming to herself. Amara felt like she was driving to her own execution. Prospect Park was alive with families, couples, dog walkers. The mundane beauty of ordinary life. And there, sitting on a bench near the lake, was Damon Cade. No suit. Just jeans and a dark sweater, hair slightly messy, hands shaking as he stood up. He looked terrified. Good. Amara held Zara's hand tight as they approached. Mr. Cade, she said formally. Ms. Bennett. His voice was soft. Thank you for coming. Zara peeked from behind her mother's legs. Hi, sad man. Damon's breath hitched. He crouched down to her level. Hi, Zara. I'm not as sad today. Why? Because I get to see you. Zara considered this. Mommy says you want to talk to me. I do, if that's okay with you. What about? Damon glanced at Amara. She nodded slightly. Your move. About me, he said carefully. And you. And how we're connected. Connected how? Amara's heart stopped. Damon's eyes were glassy. I'm your dad, Zara. Silence. Zara blinked. Once. Twice. I have a dad? The question was a knife. You do, Damon whispered. And I'm so sorry I wasn't there before. I made a terrible mistake. The worst mistake anyone could make. Zara looked at Amara. Mommy? Amara knelt beside her. It's true, baby. Mr. Cade is your biological father. What's biological? It means you came from both of us. You have my smile and his eyes, my strength and his. She faltered. My stubbornness, Damon finished softly. And my bad habit of saying the wrong thing at the wrong time. Zara processed this. Why weren't you there? Because I was scared, Damon admitted, and stupid, and I hurt your mom really badly. Did you say sorry? I'm trying to, every day. Zara looked at him for a long moment, then walked closer, studied his face. We have the same chin, she observed. Damon smiled through tears. We do. And the same scar. He touched the small mark on his chin, identical to hers. I got mine falling off a bike when I was your age. I got mine falling off the monkey bars. Guess we're both clumsy. Zara giggled, and Damon broke. Not visibly, not dramatically. But Amara saw it. The exact moment the wall cracked. The moment he realized what he'd lost. What he could have had. "Can I hug you?" he asked quietly. Zara looked at Amara. "Is it okay, Mommy?" Amara's throat was tight. "Only if you want to, baby." Zara thought about it, then nodded. Damon opened his arms and Zara stepped into them. Small and fearless and so precious. He held her like she was made of glass, like she might disappear. "I'm sorry," he whispered into her hair. "I'm so sorry I wasn't there. I'm sorry I missed your first steps and your first words in every single moment. I'm sorry." "It's okay," Zara said. "Mommy says everyone makes mistakes. What matters is if you fix them." Damon pulled back, cupping her small face. "I'm going to spend the rest of my life fixing this. I promise." "Okay." She smiled. "Can we feed the ducks now?" And just like that, forgiveness. The kind only children can give. Pure, unconditional, unearned. Damon laughed, shaky and raw. "Yeah, we can feed the ducks." Amara watched them walk to the lake. Zara chattering about school, her friends, her favorite color, purple, her favorite food, mac and cheese. Damon listening like every word was scripture. And Amara realized this was the forbidden line, the moment she stopped seeing him as the enemy. The moment she saw him as what he was. A broken man trying to be better. A father meeting his daughter. A human being drowning in regret. And that terrified her more than anything, because hating him was safe. Forgiving him? That was dangerous. The meeting at the park wasn't the end. It was the beginning. Damon started showing up. Not intrusively. Not demanding. Just there. Saturday mornings at the park, Sunday afternoons at the museum, always asking permission, always respecting boundaries, always looking at Zara like she hung the moon. And Zara, fearless, innocent Zara, started asking questions. "Why don't you live with us? Why doesn't Mommy smile when you're around? Did you hurt Mommy's feelings?" Children see everything, know everything, even what adults try to hide, especially what adults try to hide. 3 weeks after that first meeting, Amara's world shifted again. She was leaving her office late, case files under her arm, exhaustion in her bones, when a black car pulled up. Not Damon's. She knew his car. This one was different, sleeker, darker, wrong. 2 men got out. Suits that cost more than most people's rent. Eyes that had seen things no one should see. "Ms. Bennett," the taller one said, "our employer would like a word." "I don't take meetings on street corners," Amara replied, keys between her fingers like a weapon. "It's about Mr. Cade and your daughter's safety." Her blood went cold. "You have 30 seconds to explain before I call the police." "Our employer is Victor Volkov. He runs the Eastern Territory, and he's very interested in Mr. Cade's recent change in behavior." Amara knew that name. Every lawyer who worked in organized crime knew that name. Victor Volkov, Russian syndicate, brutal, efficient, the kind of man who made Damon look merciful. "What does he want with me?" "He wants you to know that Cade's weakness is showing, and in our world, weakness gets people killed." The man smiled. It wasn't friendly. "Including little girls in yellow dresses." Rage replaced fear. "Are you threatening my daughter?" "We're warning you. Cade built his empire on fear. Now he's playing father in the park, reversing acquisitions, showing mercy. His enemies are circling, and you and your daughter are the reason why. Get away from me. We're trying to help. Now!" They left, but the message was clear. Zara was in danger. Because of Damon. Because of what he was. Because of what loving them had made him. Amara didn't go home. She drove straight to Damon's tower, bypassed security with the fury of a woman protecting her child, stormed into his office where he sat with Marcus, discussing God knows what. Out, she told Marcus. He looked at Damon. Damon nodded. They were alone. Amara, Viktor Volkov's men approached me tonight, she said, voice shaking with barely controlled rage. They threatened Zara. Damon went very, very still. What did they say? His voice was winter itself. That your weakness is showing. That you playing father is making you vulnerable. That people like us, me and Zara, are targets now. Damon stood, walked to the window, stared at the city below like he was calculating how many bodies it would take to make this right. I'll handle it, he said quietly. How? By going back to what you were? By choosing violence over us again? By protecting you. We don't need your protection. We need you to stay away. Amara's voice cracked. This is exactly what I was afraid of. The moment you came back into our lives, you brought your world with you. And now, my daughter, our daughter, is a target because you couldn't let go. I won't let anyone hurt her. You already did, Amara shouted. 5 years ago, you hurt her before she was even born, and now you're doing it again. That's not fair. Nothing about this is fair. Tears streamed down her face. I built a safe life for her, a quiet life. No danger, no fear. And then you showed up with your regret and your apologies and your desperate need for redemption, and you brought hell with you. Damon turned. His eyes were wet. Tell me what to do. Tell me how to fix this. You can't fix this, Amara sobbed. Don't you understand? Men like you don't get happy endings. You don't get to ride off into the sunset with the family you abandoned. You don't get redemption. Then what do I get? His voice broke. What do I deserve? Exactly what you gave me 5 years ago. Nothing. The word hung between them like a chasm. Damon looked at her, really looked at her, and saw the woman he'd destroyed, still standing, still fighting, still protecting their child from him, from the monster he'd always been. You're right, he whispered. You're absolutely right. He walked to his desk, pulled out a folder, handed it to her. What is this? She asked. Offshore accounts, properties, everything I own. His voice was steady now, resigned. It's yours, all of it. Take Zara somewhere safe, somewhere far from here. New identities, new life. I'll make sure no one ever finds you. Amara opened the folder, stared at numbers that didn't make sense. Millions. Tens of millions. You're just giving up? I'm choosing you. Damon smiled sadly. For the first time in my life, I'm choosing you and Zara over everything else, even if it means never seeing you again. Damon. I love her, Amara. I love her so much it terrifies me. And I love you. I never stopped. He looked away. But you're right. Men like me don't get happy endings. We stop making things worse. Amara's hands were shaking. This was what she wanted, wasn't it? For him to leave, for them to be safe, for life to go back to the way it was. So why did it feel like her heart was being ripped out? I don't want your money, she heard herself say. Amara, I want you to fight. She stepped closer. Not with guns, not with violence. I want you to fight to be better, to change, to protect Zara by becoming the kind of man she deserves as a father. I don't know if I can. Neither do I. Amara's voice softened. But I know you're trying, and that's more than you've ever done before. What are you saying? I'm saying, I'm terrified. I'm saying you broke me once and I can't let that happen again. I'm saying if you hurt Zara, I will destroy you in ways Viktor Volkov couldn't imagine. She took a breath. But I'm also saying, Maybe we don't run. Maybe we stand and fight. Together. Damon stared at her. You'd do that? After everything? Not for you. Amara wiped her tears. For her. Because she asked me yesterday why her daddy looks so sad all the time. And I realized. She already loves you. And I can't take that away from her. Even if it terrifies me. I'll keep you safe, Damon promised. Both of you, I swear. You better. Amara's voice was steel wrapped in heartbreak. Because if anything happens to her, it won't. I'll burn this entire city down before I let anyone touch her. And looking into his eyes, Amara believed him. For better or worse. She believed him. The war came 3 days later. Not with bullets. Not with bloodshed. With leverage. Viktor Volkov was smarter than that. He hit Amara's law firm. Every client she had suddenly withdrew. Contracts canceled. Retainers returned. Her partners called an emergency meeting. We have to let you go, Amara, they said. Apologetic. Scared. We can't afford to be associated with whatever this is. She knew what this was. Damon Cade's world, swallowing hers whole. But Amara Bennett didn't break easily. She'd built herself from nothing once. She could do it again. What she didn't expect was the call that came at 11 p.m. that same night. Ms. Bennett? An unfamiliar voice, cold, professional. We have a proposition. Who is this? Someone who can make your problems disappear. Viktor Volkov wants to meet. I have nothing to say to him. He has something to say to you. About Mr. Cade. About keeping your daughter safe. Every instinct screamed danger. But she was a mother first, a lawyer second. When and where? The meeting was in a restaurant. Expensive. Public. Volkov was many things, but stupid wasn't one of them. He sat across from her. 50-something, silver hair, eyes like a shark. Ms. Bennett, thank you for coming. Let's skip the pleasantries, Amara said. What do you want? I want to help you. By destroying my career? By showing you what life with Damon Cade really means. Volkov sipped his wine. Isolation, danger, every person you love becoming a target. Is that the life you want for your daughter? What's your offer? Leave him. Take your daughter. I'll restore your reputation, your clients, everything. I'll even ensure Cade never bothers you again. How? Volkov smiled. That's not your concern. Amara's stomach turned. You want me to abandon him so you can kill him? I want you to save yourself and your child. Cade is a dying empire, Ms. Bennett. The old ways are ending. Men like him don't adapt. They fall, and they take everyone with them. Why do you care what I do? Because you're his weakness. Remove you, and he becomes what he was, a threat. Keep you, and he remains vulnerable. Volkov leaned forward. Either way, I win. I'm just giving you the choice to survive. Amara's hands clenched under the table. I need time to think. You have 24 hours. After that, things become complicated. She told Damon everything. They sat in his office. Zara asleep in the adjoining room, curled up on the couch with her favorite blanket. She'd come for dinner, started asking to stay more often, started calling this place Daddy's office. He's right, Damon said quietly. I'm making you a target. We've been through this. No, Amara, listen. He stood, paced. Volkov isn't wrong. The old ways are dying. I built my empire on fear and violence. But that world, it's changing. And I'm not sure I can change fast enough to protect you. So what are you saying? I'm saying maybe you should take his offer. Amara stared at him. You're telling me to leave you? I'm telling you to save yourself and Zara. Damon's voice cracked. I'm telling you that loving me comes with a price I never want you to pay. What about what I want? What do you want? And there it was. The question she'd been avoiding for weeks. What did she want? Safety? She'd had that before Damon came back. Quiet nights, predictable days, no danger. But also no one to share Zara's first day of kindergarten. No one to help with homework. No one to hold her when the weight of single motherhood became too much. Damon had given her something she didn't expect. Partnership. Not perfect. Not safe. But real. Amara's voice shook. I want to believe that people can change. That you can be the man Zara needs. That we can build something that doesn't end in tragedy. And if we can't, then at least we tried. Damon crossed the room, stood in front of her, close enough to touch, close enough to break. I don't deserve you, he whispered. No, Amara agreed. You don't. But Zara deserves a father. And maybe I deserve a second chance too. At what? At believing in something. She looked up at him. At believing in you. His hand cupped her face, gentle, reverent, like she was something precious he'd forgotten how to hold. I'll leave the Empire, he said suddenly. I'll walk away from all of it. We'll disappear. New city, new life, just us. Amara's breath caught. You'd do that? For you? For her? Damon's eyes glistened. I'd do anything. Damon! The door burst open. Marcus, blood on his shirt, gun in his hand. Boss, we have a problem. Volkov didn't wait 24 hours. He moved now. Damon's men were being targeted. Safe houses raided. Shipments intercepted. A coordinated attack designed to cripple him. How bad? Damon asked, already moving to the weapons safe. Bad. He's hitting everything at once. Marcus glanced at Amara. We need to move her and the kid. Now. No, Amara said. Both men looked at her. If I run, it proves Volkov right. That I'm the weakness. That removing me breaks you. She stood. We face this together. Or we don't face it at all. Amara, this isn't a courtroom. I know what this is, her voice echoed. This is war, and I'm not running, not anymore. You want to protect Zara? Then we end this. Tonight. Damon stared at her. This woman. This impossible, fearless, devastating woman. What are you suggesting? I'm a lawyer, Damon. I don't fight with guns. Amara's smile was sharp. I fight with evidence, and I have plenty on Viktor Volkov. You can't, I can. I've been building a case for months. Different clients, same pattern. Volkov's been operating under the FBI's radar for years. She pulled out her phone. One call. I bring down his entire operation. He'll retaliate. Not if he's in federal custody. Marcus whistled low. Boss, she's not wrong. Damon looked between them, at this woman holding a phone like a weapon, at his daughter sleeping peacefully in the next room, unaware her entire future was being decided. At the impossible choice, fight the old way. With violence, with blood, or trust Amara. Trust the law. Trust that there was another path. Make the call, he said. Amara's hands shook as she dialed, but they didn't hesitate. A quick announcement before we begin. Channel members get access to exclusive videos, weekly content, and early access to videos before they go live on the channel. To join, just click Join here on YouTube. And if you'd like to support the growth of the channel, the available support options are listed in the description. Let's start. The FBI raid happened at dawn. 12 locations simultaneously. Viktor Volkov's entire operation dismantled in 4 hours. Arrests, seizures. Evidence that would put him away for life. And Amara's fingerprints on all of it. She sat in Damon's office watching the news coverage, Zara curled in her lap. Mommy, you're on TV, Zara pointed excitedly. Amara had given a statement, brief, professional, just another lawyer doing her job. But Damon saw the truth. She'd just taken down one of the most dangerous men on the East Coast with nothing but evidence and brilliance. She'd protected their daughter without firing a single shot. "You're incredible," he said quietly. Amara looked at him over Zara's head. "We did this together. You could have run, taken his offer, been safe. Safety isn't the same as living." She smiled, tired but real. "I want Zara to grow up knowing her mother fought for what mattered, not ran from it." "What matters?" "Family." Amara's voice softened. "However broken, however complicated, however terrifying." Zara yawned. "Is the bad man gone?" "Yes, baby," Amara said. "The bad man is gone." "Good." Zara snuggled deeper. "Can we get pancakes now?" Damon laughed. Actually laughed. "Yes, we can get pancakes. Will you come too, Daddy?" The word stopped time. Daddy, not Sir, not Mr. Cade. Daddy. Damon's eyes filled with tears. "Yeah, sweetheart. I'll come too." 3 months later. Damon Cade did something unprecedented. He stepped down. Not completely, but enough. He transferred operations to legitimate businesses, real estate, investments, legal ventures. The criminal empire didn't disappear overnight, but it started to shift, to transform, to become something his daughter wouldn't be ashamed of. Marcus thought he was crazy. "You built this for 20 years, boss. You're just walking away?" "I'm not walking away," Damon corrected. "I'm building something new, something better." "For her?" Marcus nodded toward where Amara and Zara played in the park, visible from the office window. "For all of us." It wasn't easy. Old enemies circled. New challenges emerged. But Damon had something he never had before: purpose beyond power, a reason to change. 6 months later, Amara opened her own law firm, small, focused on family law and victims' rights. Her first case, a single mother fighting for custody, alone, terrified. Exactly who Amara had been 5 years ago. She won. And when the woman thanked her, crying with relief, Amara thought about second chances, about how far she'd come, about the man who sat in the gallery, watching with Zara, supporting silently. After court, Zara ran to her. "You won, Mommy." "We won, baby." Damon approached slowly, still cautious, still earning his place. "You were amazing." "Thank you." Amara smiled. "You coming to dinner?" It had become routine. Dinners, weekends, slowly building something that felt almost like normal. "If that's okay?" "Daddy has to come," Zara insisted. "It's taco night, and he promised to teach me how to make guacamole." "Did he now?" Damon shrugged, sheepish. "I may have promised that." "Well then." Amara held out her hand. "Let's go home." Home, not her apartment, not his penthouse. A small brownstone they'd bought together. Equal names on the deed. Equal say in every decision. A fresh start. As they walked to the car, Zara between them holding both their hands, Amara felt something unfamiliar. Peace. Not perfect. Not without scars, but real. 1 year later. Damon knelt in Prospect Park. Same bench where he first held his daughter. Same lake where everything changed. Amara sat beside him. Zara chased ducks nearby, laughing. "I have something to ask you," Damon said quietly. "I know." Amara smiled. "I found the ring box in your jacket pocket last week." He laughed. "Of course you did." "So," she turned to him, "ask." Amara Bennett. His voice shook. "You're the strongest person I've ever known. You survived me at my worst. You gave me a daughter I didn't deserve. You taught me that power means nothing without purpose." He pulled out the ring. Simple. Elegant. "I can't promise perfection. I can't erase the past. But I can promise that every day for the rest of my life I'll choose you. I'll choose us. I'll be the man you and Zara deserve." Tears streamed down Amara's face. "Will you marry me?" Damon whispered. "You hurt me," she said softly. You broke me in ways I'm still healing from. I know. But you also showed me that people can change, that love doesn't have to be perfect to be real. She took his hand. Yes, Damon, I'll marry you. He slid the ring on her finger, kissed her softly, like she was everything, because she was. Mommy! Daddy! Look! Zara ran over, holding something. I found a butterfly. They pulled her into their arms, the three of them. A family, imperfect, hard-won, real. I love you, Damon whispered to both of them. I love you both so much. We love you too, Amara said, and meant it, because this was the real empire, not built on fear or violence or power, but on forgiveness, second chances, the courage to become better. And in the end, that was worth more than anything. Epilogue, 2 years later. The wedding was small, family only. Zara was the flower girl, wore a purple dress, took her job very seriously. Damon's hands shook as he said his vows. I was lost before you, I was broken, but you saw something in me worth saving, and I promise, every single day, to be worthy of that faith. Amara's vows were simpler. You're not perfect, neither am I, but together, we're enough, we're home. They kissed. Zara cheered, the small crowd applauded. And later, as they danced at the reception, Zara tugging on both their hands, wanting to dance too, Damon looked at his wife, and thought about the man he used to be, the man who threw away everything for pride. That man was gone. This man, father, husband, human, was who he'd always been meant to be. Happy? Amara asked. Terrified, Damon admitted. Grateful, overwhelmed. But happy? He looked at Zara spinning in circles, at Amara glowing in her dress, at the life they'd built from ruins. Yeah, he whispered, happier than I ever thought possible. And he was, because some empires are built on power, but the greatest ones are built on love.